Aaron, and I support Andrew Yang because he's the first political candidate that I've ever heard who's actually addressing the real-world problems that I see happening in society. The Freedom Dividend is a policy where every U.S. citizen gets a cut of every Amazon purchase, every Facebook search, Google search, anything that has to do with automation. Those companies are taxed with a value-added tax up to 10%, and you as an American citizen deserve a cut of that automation that's taking away so many of our jobs. Certain tech companies should have to pay for our Freedom Dividend because as we move forward into the fourth industrial revolution, automation is the answer to the world's most technical problems. So for example, in 2014, Saudi Arabia started undercutting us in oil prices, and in the US we all but stopped production. Well, 2 years later, in 2016, we started pumping oil again, but the jobs didn't come back. So what happened? Well, the oil industry used technology to be able to automate away oil jobs, and while we're making money on oil, and that's great, there aren't actual workers anymore who used to be in those oil rigging jobs to see that money. Automation is the future, and as automation displaces more and more human jobs, the Freedom Dividend that is being taxed on the companies that are innovating with that innovation then goes back to the people who have lost their jobs and you and me, and it helps soften that transition from losing your job to going on to the next venture in life. Now, the other facet of companies who will help pay for the Freedom Dividend are the tech companies, such as Google, Facebook, Twitter, Amazon, the companies that are constantly gathering yours and my data. So, I don't know about you, but I have not received my data check, and yet I know that my data is being constantly used by Google, Amazon, Facebook, everybody who shows me ads for something that I'm standing right next to. How do they know where I am? Because they are harvesting my data, and I want to be paid for the use of my data. Basic income has been done before, and in fact it is happening right now in the United States. Every citizen of Alaska receives their oil dividend every year, and that's $1,000 to $2,000 to every citizen of Alaska. So I mean, we're talking a family of 4, you may be getting an extra $8,000 a year, and that's a huge help. Also in Canada, about 30 years ago, universal basic income was tested, and what they saw was stress levels down, hospital bills down, children's test scores went up. The only people who actually worked less were parents who voluntarily wanted to stay home and be around their children more, and students who were spending more time on their studies. And on top of that, I have firsthand knowledge of universal basic income from living over in Doha, Qatar. So nationalized Qatari citizens receive universal basic income, and let me tell you, their economy is booming. The native Qatari people are some of the most generous people. They, just being over there for 5 months working at a gym, I received all sorts of gifts. They have money, they love to spend it, they love to show their generosity. And that is the magic of universal basic income, boost the economy. We need the Freedom Dividend because the fourth industrial revolution is happening all around you, and I know you know that it's going on. Have you been to a grocery store where there's a self-checkout? Have you been to a McDonald's where there's a kiosk where you can order? If you're like me, you know how hard Starbucks is pushing you to use their app instead of actually talking to a barista. Every time you see automation in work, someone's job has been taken away. And the Freedom Dividend allows folks who have been affected by the automation. Everywhere you see automation, a human's job has been taken away, and we're all being affected by it. So the Freedom Dividend allows Americans to have the freedom to choose their own fate and decide how they want to retrain and move forward as we head into this fourth industrial revolution.
The next big question, why not a jobs guarantee?
Franklin Delano Roosevelt said, every American has a right to a job. Well, actually, every American has a right to income, but not necessarily a job. And many Americans don't want to work for the government. If you think about all the home caregivers and all of the stay-at-home parents, the job guarantee wouldn't give them any income, where Andrew Yang's proposal, the Freedom Dividend, would give those individuals $1,000 a month for the work that they do at home, which is is just as demanding as any work that you have in a government job. The Green New Deal is a fantastic proposal, but the federal jobs guarantee component really is a non-starter, because we need to make sure that people have the opportunity to pursue the jobs they're looking for, not the jobs that the government prescribes.